Breaking news now, but says no speaker a Supreme Court ruling and you're going to video no record. God bless you.
Interpret the Constitution. In fact, they said two things. They wanted the judiciary to be the ultimate arbiter of what the Constitution says, and they also wanted the judiciary to be able to give advisory opinions. The people of Ghana rejected the second suggestion and said that the judiciary should not give advisory opinions, but the judiciary is the body that should interpret the Constitution. The second thing that is important in that entire the 1968 proposals was that they decided that Parliament would not be supreme. The supremacy of Parliament was not accepted. What they decided was that Parliament will be under the Constitution. And so all our constitutions since then have followed this position. In fact, the 1992 Constitution in Article 1 says that sovereignty lies in the people. That sovereignty was expressed when the people, through a referendum, voted to bring this constitution into force. And the constitution tells us that the supreme law of Ghana is the constitution. Everybody else is under the constitution. Nobody is above anybody. Everybody has his role. And so the fact that the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution does not mean that they are above anybody. In fact, there are judges sitting on the bench. One of them is my classmate. My juniors are on the bench. But once they go and sit there, even if it's my own child sitting there, I cannot but bow and give the person respect, not for the person, but for the office and for the law. And we expect every other Ghanaian to also respect the law. We don't all agree on what is said and what is done. There are several times that I've disagreed with what is said and what is done. But because of the respect for the rule of law, because of the respect for the Constitution, we just keep quiet and follow the law, hoping that if we don't agree, another opportunity will come that we'll be able to express ourselves. So what has happened today, we have not seen the reasons. We are happy because we came to court because we believed that the right thing was that the people had not by their action vacated their seats. So what has happened to that, we are happy about it. Tomorrow, the reasons will come out. And when the reasons come out, as lawyers, then we can look at the reasons and what the court has said, and then we can discuss it. In fact, the fact that the court has ruled in your favor does not mean that you agree with the reasons. You might decide that even the reasons some of the judges gave, you do not agree with it. Two of the judges talked about jurisdiction. We don't know what they said, so tomorrow we will know. And when we know, we will prepare to answer more questions in detail. But as was said by the leader, as far as I'm concerned, today democracy has won, constitutionalism has won.
And Bagbin has lost.
Nobody has lost. Democracy has won, constitutionalism has won, and nobody has lost. Every one of us is holding every position that we hold in trust for the people of Ghana. We don't hold it in our own capacity. When you are MP, when you are minister, when you are president, when you are speaker, when you are chief justice, you hold it in trust for the people of Ghana, and you are under the law. Your time will come and you leave the position, and that is what we must all right. So the 4 MPs have been reinstated. They must come to Parliament, and as far as I'm concerned, if the status quo ante is brought back, then this whole dispute that people call him caucus leader, whatever, it should stop from today. We have a majority, which is MPP, and the majority leader is Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markins.
Straight from the Supreme Court.
Parliament as a matter of urgency, so business of the day can proceed.
Court down na moto the elephants. Mun come party office here. Court down the enkamoto. God bless our homeland. God near who said you got the okano. No. And make our nation great and strong. That is a constitution. Who talk on my god? They are elephants. And we need some elephant. And you'll be back as a Supreme Court here. MPP for. They be saying.
Supreme Court no. On one set your friends say at force in.
You mean so
on na.
You mean say that the same.
Anyway, depa. But I make understand the same Supreme Court almost say your friend unanimous FC no. Omuna set way free at force in. Nansan almost setting free again. Ruling no 5-2. Anya unanimous. Me no say the speaker here no and can kwan so no.
Yeah. Let me tell Ghanaians. Anytime catch us say, when people chase power for 30 years, they are dangerous than tyrants. Ekufuor is a dictator. Yeah? Yebusa John Mahama, asama esi eye parliament no. Ono pa no, how does he think? Send our audience and can solve no.
And also me can once me say anka me mampenia. Me jidi say anka me anka memma Afenyo Markins, leader of MPP in parliament, akoyi Supreme Court. Na my fresh speaker, my friend leader of NDC, leadership of MPP. Na menya asofu penyin bi any council of state, National Peace Council na abekan yo. Na yahwe se ne besi timi aka asem nafa na esiesie se ne be ya parliament ebe ye adwuma biom.
That is what leaders do. That is what leaders do. As some way see your parliament, kwasi Afenyo to Jubilee House wakasa wo. The vice president who wants to be president, has he spoken about it? And we sit here and we are making it look like Speaker Bagbin, he hates Ghana, unpeg Ghana. John Mahama said, if Corner a leader of Ghana, they also say, Obetima convince a yedi, Afenyo Markins majority say, Assembly and your court assem a political issue. Bunko in free court mra. Now or no president, no afraid a NPP 4, no afraid NDC 4, no afraid penny 4, no money not say, hey. Mami NC and Tumago our bontine. Let's solve this thing and move on and build this nation. That's it. Kwasia we sorry I know the Speaker Bagbin attempt. Inti Vice President Kofo, you've not heard this. A one kebe. Speaker has come out with his side of the story. We need to get serious. Let's stop this. Okay? Mama Nchora Devi. And this is a statement I saw, I feel say, very important to you, the young one watching me. Chachuchi kata akasembi, and every day me show we so ameka. And as someone is saying, or say, it's not enough to say that the president has too much power and that the constitution must be reviewed. We need to learn to hold leaders accountable for their failures. Or say, it is not enough to say that the president has too much power and that the constitution must be reviewed. Me said the 1992 constitution has not been exhausted even 30%. Chachuchi kata say, enya enough say de be say president will do me too much into a review constitution. I will say you hold the people to account. They need to be accountable for their leadership. When they fail, we need to hold them accountable. That is our problem. It's not a constitution. I can sit here and tell you all government institutions or all the arms of government has too much power. What do? Do we nullify the whole constitution? Because from what is happening in parliament, you will tell me, say, oh, parliament they have too much power, and so right now we should go and review parliament, our powers. What is happening? Some group two will say the Supreme Court, it has too much power. We should go and do what? We should go and nullify review the Supreme Court, the Constitution. Now we will say the executive has too much power. What we are going to do is we'll be shifting blames. What we can do to solve the problem is to make sure that we hold people accountable. That is the fact. It is not a constitution. And let me say this. Let me restate this. There has never been a perfect constitution on this earth, and there will never be a perfect constitution. We will have to make the constitution better by exhausting the constitution and making sure we implement what is in the constitution. Constitution is that Obi also go jail. Obi to me too much. That is the problem. Time my friend Paul Boateng did the report.